Keynote speaker, Brother George Rice III.
On the north side, a 21-year-old young man was incarcerated for a crime he doesn't think he committed. On the south side, there's an 18-year-old girl, promising athlete, played basketball since she was in 4th grade. No one in her family has ever been to one single game. On the east side, there's a 12-year-old girl whose father has molested her since the age of 2. On the west side, there's a 9-year-old boy who has never had a hug from his mother or father. The question is, where is the love? Brother President Spesh, Dr. Stubblefield. Family, fraternity, sorority, neighbors. Haters, prognosticators, debaters, even those wearing annihilated gators. I thank you for the opportunity to come back home. Be it humble as it may, there's no place like home.
Amen.
I would be unforgivably remiss if I didn't acknowledge some of these people in the audience. For you have sown into me countless things I could never ever dream or imagine. And this is in no particular order. In the audience, I see my family, the Rice family, which I am very proud to be a member of. Some years ago, in a small town called Huntsville, Alabama, Brother Will Everett Rice gave birth to a nation, not just a family. To the earliest, well, I've known since my high school years and college years, in those ways down to taking those trips back and forth down 95, 85, 75, 65, down to Morehouse College. I acknowledge you. Thank you so much for your love and support. To the Dunstons, or the representative of the Dunston family, who were next door neighbors in the Boomer area on 1935 Joffrey. Not just next door neighbors, but truly family members. To Nathaniel Young, I can't say enough about Brother Jay. Someone who has always been a torchbearer for his family and for the fraternity. To the Jackson family, Mr. Richard Jackson. I'm forever in debt to you for giving a young college brother his first job and taking a chance. And for that, I appreciate it. To my mentees who have become mentors of mine, Brother Brandon Tucker, Brother Greg Braylock. And I do mean from mentees to mentors. The things that these young men are doing are phenomenal. Brother Tucker, if I may plug, is running for the city council, brother. In the Boomer area. Y'all gonna know what Boomer is before y'all leave. For District 1, so please, whatever he needs and asks for, please endorse him, support him, and love him. Those fellas, a group that I've heard about, I just want to give you all a shout. Although I know Cameron and I know a couple other brothers. I've heard about the work that you're doing. And I want to say it does my heart good and everybody's heart good to see really the true weapons of mass destruction. That's an educated black man. So right. Make it happen. Whatever support you need, ask for. Last but not least, I want to thank the Boomer area for raising me and being a place where I scrape my knees got in trouble. Before I could get back to my own house, somebody already told him, Chief, he did something down the street. All the same, it's an honor, a privilege, and a blessing to be here. So let me ask you all, where is the love? Where is the love? Donnie and Roberta asked a long time ago. I don't know if we really understand what the actual meaning of it is. But before we talk about where is the love, we have to talk about what is the love. For those of you who know anything about love, there are three types of love. Do we know what those are? There's eros, there's philia, and there's agape. Eros is more of a lustful love. It's self-serving. It's one of those things where I got mine, you get yours. Work with me.
All right.
In my sanctified mind, I'm saying that. I got mine, you get yours. And we talk about where is the love and what is the love. We talk about things like, and the generation, I said if I could go back and any time, I'd love to go back to the civil rights generation, because y'all had some of the best people.
That's right.
You know, and even though y'all don't look at it that way, there were songs like, well, when you talk about culture in the 60s, people don't understand our language and our behavior determined our music.
That's right.
Now our music determines our language and our behavior.
That's right.
So work with me here. When I say this, I go back to the 60s, there's a group right up the street, five or six brothers, and they used to sing a song, and y'all sing it with me if you know it. I got sunshine. Come on, sing now. On a cloudy day. Come on now. Everybody know this song.
I got the month of May.
Well,
You say
what?
can make me feel this way, my God.
That was when our language and our behavior determined our music.
Yeah.
Because even in theory, we were saying very pleasant things about the woman that we love. But we really had some other intentions. However, we had enough respect for our elders. We had enough respect for our elders. We had enough respect for our elders not to say, but now we've got songs like My Chick Bad, My Chick Good, My Chick Do Things That Your Girl Wish She Could. That's self-serving. That's not what our generation is about. It was never, ever, ever about self-serving. Just imagine for one moment. Walk with me. Imagine had Dr. King said, imagine had he had an erotic type of love for the civil rights movement. You know what he would have said? I got mine. I got my Nobel Peace Prize. I got my PhD. I'm an ordained minister. I got mine. You get yours.
That's right.
Imagine where we would be. Just imagine. But see, that was in the 60s. As we move to the 70s, look at y'all say it.
All right.
Because we're talking about love, because what is the love? And my mother is a huge Al Green fan. Anybody knows my mom, y'all may not know, y'all know today.
Yeah.
She's a huge Al Green fan. And we talk about let's stay together. So, come on, sing it. So in love with you. Come on.
Whatever you want me to,
Y'all don't know y'all auditioning.
it's all right with me.
Who's got the bass line?
You make me feel
Come on.
so brand new.
Y'all know y'all can sing falsetto. Keep going. Come on. Come on. Y'all know y'all Come on, the chorus now.
Oh,
We said folks. But if you listen to the words of the song, and we talk about the civil rights movement, those were all the things that love requires. They said the good, the bad, the happy, and the sad. Sure enough, there were times when he was like, man, forget these black folks. I ain't messing with y'all. No matter what I do, they gonna beat me anyway. I got a PhD and I just went to jail for the 7th or 8th or 9th time. But that's the type of love he had for the hood.
That's right.
It's the very thing that's been passed down. And so now we want to blame the current state of our community on generational curses. I swear, if I hear that word one more time, I'm going to scream. Because now we've turned generational curses into generational crimes. Because generational crimes are the type of things when we get parents at schools to fight somebody else's child because somebody said about somebody else's child and they didn't like what they said. It's a crime. There's an absence of love there.
Yeah.
We get more parents at the Franklin Park Mall the day that the Jordans come out than we do for parent-teacher night. Something's wrong. And while I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you all, some of you all are overly educated black folks, and white folks, and brown folks. I don't want to alienate y'all. But this is a problem that's been in the black community for some time. So we talk about what is the love? Just imagine that Dr. King said, I get mine, I got mine, you get yours. As we moved into the 80s, there was still a plea from the people in the music industry. Y'all want to sing again. This time it's coming from the Ozzy brothers. Okay? It's not what y'all do.
Not that one.
Like, he gonna sing between the sheets.
We're making progress, folks.
I don't know that song.
Plus I know we got babies. But what I'm saying is, everybody, every woman, every man, join the caravan of love. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Everybody take a stand. Join the caravan of love. Y'all remember the bridge? He said, I'm your brother, because I am. I'm your brother, don't you know? Let's hit the high part. I'm your brother. Y'all know I can sing. I'm your brother, don't you know? But you know what? The next part says, it's not only going to be on the same key. Now the children of the world can see there's a better way for us to be. When we were young and all wrong, won't you let your love flow from your heart? But understand that it is our generation that allowed some of this music through the gate. It's counterproductive. So we can't talk about our young people and blame anything because we've allowed certain ties in our family to become weak.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're not censoring what they're learning. We can talk about certain things being absent in the house. We can talk about nuclear families that are actually intact. But if there's no relationship, if there's rules without relationship equals rebellion, does it not?
That's right.
So understand that everybody says, okay, well, this person comes from a good family. Oh, sure he does. But, you know, some people think it's enough just to have babies. Okay, well, we surrounded him or her with everything. They'll be all right. That's selfish. That's selfish. I got mine. You get yours. The second type of love is called phila. Some of the younger folks, it's not the sports apparel. Phila. And Phila is more, actually, it's I love you because you're my brother. I love you because you're my sister. I love you because you're my frat brother. I love you because you're my sorority sister. I love you because you're saved. Or I love you because you're a member of my lodge. Or it's brotherly. There's a condition. So if you're not my brother or sister bound by an organization, do I really love you? Think about that. Think about how Dr. King, a member of our illustrious fraternity, said, well, no, I'm only taking alphas with me. I can't speak for any other alpha chapters. Now, if they got this chapter, no problem. Okay, I can rock with you, Dr. King, but we'll need a lot more soldiers. But imagine had he only said, okay, I'm only going to take certain people in this tax bracket. Only folks with PhDs. Only folks with bachelor's degrees. Only folks with a certain amount of income or higher. He said, bring anybody who is willing and ready to serve, to love, and ultimately die if you have to.
That's right. That's right.
So now, when we look at our music, go back to me. Y'all know y'all was gonna sing that. You go back to our music. Our young people aren't being influenced by songs like, "I want the money, money in the cars, cars in the clothes. I suppose I just want to be successful." Now, if you suppose you want to be successful, what's wrong? Either you do or you don't. It's an absolute question. Do your feet stink? Yes or no? And so the civil rights movement was never a conditional movement. It was never conditional, ever. Had a conversation with the members of Delta Sigma Theta at George Washington University. No disrespect to the Deltas, it's just a conversation. And so we were talking about love. We're getting back to the love thing, don't worry. I know I'm not on it. And so we said, they came in and they said, well, George, because they don't know me as Chiefy. They said, George, what do you look for in a woman? I said, okay, she's got to be God-fearing, so on and so forth. All these qualities. So I asked them, I said, what about you? What do you look for in an ideal mate? So they said, God-fearing, such and such. They said, okay, well, he's got to be credentialed and yada, 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 and whoop-de-whoop. He's got to love God, whatever, whatever. I said, okay, let's talk about this. I said, you have your degree. I said, say he doesn't have one. Would you love him any less? Would you not walk down the aisle with him? And these are educated people, but they have no idea what love really is. And I said to them, there are a lot of credentialed people whose love may or may not work.
That's right.
But it's not because they don't have the capacity to love. It's because they don't work at it.
Yes.
We accept people at face value. After all, God accepts us at face value. We jacked up.
That's right.
Right.
Amen?
That's right. Amen.
If anybody in the room ain't jacked up, stand up. See, even the girl in the back, she said that. But in this Fila type of love, it's, I got mine. If it's a conditional agreement, I got mine, and I'll help you get yours only if. Only if you're saved. Only if you're a part of my lives. Only if you're my chapter soror. Only if you're my chapter brother. Only if you're my fraternity member will I help you. As much of as our young people need, we got to strip all of that away.
That's right.
I love you because you look like me. You breathe like me. You pray to the same God, hopefully, that I do. But he's the best person that was fit for that job. And there were some people that worked on his campaign when he was running the first time and jumped ship on him. It was time to run the second time.
That's right.
So y'all tell me, where's the love?
That's right.
Mayor Bell, I haven't seen him. I wish he was here. If he were here, I'd say the same thing. We know that Mayor Bell may not necessarily run in our circles, right?
That's right.
Let's be true, let's be honest, right? Okay, but understand, Mayor Bell has had to deal with more atrocities than we can possibly imagine. Because he's definitely not a fair-skinned brother.